You know Oscorp, but you might not know me. I'm Harry Osborn. When my father died, he didn't just leave me a business. He left me a New York institution. But too often lately, both Oscorp and this city have been preyed on by criminals. Now today, I'm announcing a joint venture with a man who, like me, recently returned to the city where he was born and wants to help. Wilson Fisk.
New York made me the man I am. Now, I want to give something back. It was my privilege to rebuild this great city after recent crises, but that was just the start. Allow me to introduce you to the Enhanced Crime Task Force. Now, the police are doing a fine job with limited resources. But when they face threats outside their normal scope, they need more, and we have provided.
Rather than increase the burden on taxpayers, Mr. Fisk and I are financing this hand-picked task force ourselves. Vigilantes like Spider-Man only make the problem worse. This is our city, and we're taking it back together.
I'm still willing to take Oscorp off your hands, young man.
And my answer is still no.
Well, that's fine. I'll just wait until you die of the disease that killed your father.
Last time I left you hanging during loading screens, but this time I'm going to talk over them for your benefit and for mine. So this game's story is a bit of a mess. It's all over the place, but that's one of the things I love about open-world Spidey games is that there's anywhere from 2 to 15 plot threads going on at the same time, and the fun is in seeing how they all clash together or come to a head later. This game is definitely the messiest open-world Spider-Man game in terms of story, I would say, but that's also what makes it so damn fun to see where it goes.
Attention all task force personnel. You are authorized to begin Phase 1 of the Suppression Initiative. Repeat, Phase 1 of the Suppression Initiative is a go.
So this is the game's way of directly incentivizing us to engage in the open world. The task force will come after us if we're not doing our job in keeping crime rates down. Basically, they're just looking for any excuse to kill us. So let's not give them one.
Good time to take down some bad guys, while the task force is putting heat on them.
Break your face!
Available units, please respond to a disturbing the peace situation. Suspects may be armed.
A suspicious group of people just standing around. Better beat the shit out of them with a dumpster at my earliest convenience, just as a Spider-Man would do. So this particular subset of crimes is called petty crimes, and they sure are petty, but they're also really quick and easy.
You're not. Alright, you're not good. I might just have a future at this. I almost died just then. Of boredom.
Many of the petty criminals apprehended by Spider-Man turned out to be wanted on far more serious charges.
So that's basically how the open world activities work. You stop crime, your heroic meter goes up. You want to keep the heroic meter in the blue, because if it goes into the red, then the task force will chase after you. And the task force can be easily avoided, but they're still kind of irritating. Keeping the hero meter in the blue also gives you additional benefits and bonuses for your suit if you really care about that. I don't so much, but it's there. It's another incentive. Just as in most open-world Spider-Man games, more and more activities will be added, more crimes for you to stop as the game progresses. But we're not going to be looking at the open world too much, because I really don't like the open world activities so much in this game. I feel like there's one good set of open world activities called Police Deadlock, which we might look at. But aside from that, I think they're all kind of underwhelming. Not as underwhelming as the ones in Spider-Man 3 on the PS2, which I 100%ed at the request of someone who watched my channel at the time. The halcyon days of 2016, where you could waste, what was it, 4 or 5 hours just 100%ing Spider-Man 3 on the PS2 because someone asked you to. The swinging in this game is fine, by the way. If you notice I'm sticking really close to the ground and using the swing boost excessively, that's just because it goes fast. It makes you go fast.
I need to get the hostage out of that car right away.
Alright, another car chase. We've actually done this already, and it's not really any different from the first time we did it. We want to get the other guys out of the car and then get the hostage out of the car. And this is a really good example of why I don't like the open world activities in this game so much, because you done one car chase, you basically done them all. There are different enemy layouts for the petty crimes and stuff, but for this and the bombs in particular, which we haven't seen yet, it's basically the same every time. Not that bomb disposal isn't more fun.
Witnesses say Spider-Man used precision timing to stop the car without risking bystanders' lives.
Car 42, we have reports of fighting, possibly gang-related, in Central Park, southwest corner. Can you check it out?
Central Park, southwest corner? I bet I can get there quicker than the cops. Huh. Just a few blocks, as the spider swings.
This is Whitney with an editorial comment. Early polls on the Osborn-Fisk announcement showed broad public support. Citizens are tired of the crime wave and have doubts about the mysterious figure known as Spider-Man, despite all the good he's done.
So what else is new?
But I've obtained the records of the officers on the task force. They show allegations of corruption and police brutality. None of it proven, but still. Are these the people we want to trust with this kind of power?
Spider-Man, I'm out of here!
Trying to get into the mindset of that guy who ran away, but first thought it was really important to shout, "Spider-Man, I'm out of here!" first. Like, that was just really important to him, was to get that out. Like he had some sort of quota to meet to be a real villain. He was like, "Listen, I know how cartoon criminals talk. I've got this fucking handled."
So, now to find the one that got away. Hey, wrapping up bad guys is my thing. What the? I can help you? Okay, Mr. Craven the Hunter. You got my attention.
We have shots fired at the bus station. Proceed with caution. Suspects heavily armed. All units, officers are under fire at the bus station. Need assistance immediately.
I'm always awesome. Sometimes I'm extra awesome.
Yeah, I'm not gonna lie, this looks pretty fucked up, especially compared to what we've been dealing with before. So this is what the police deadlocks are. You see a police deadlock in the open world, this is what they look like. They're basically miniature levels. Yeah, you know what? What I said the first time is fine. Miniature levels. There's a bunch of enemies laid out for you to stealth or beat your way through. And you either want to take them all down or complete the objective. It's just like the actual main levels in the video game, except optional. Well, this one's not optional, but usually the police deadlocks are optional. So I love these. They're basically the only open world activity I really want to do, and also the only one I would consider good, independent of that. The other ones aren't particularly good, I think. The petty crimes are too easy to be engaging for very long, and there's not enough variance in the enemy layouts or locations. But the police deadlocks, which are all very similar to this, have about the same level of engagement as one of the main levels. It still feels a lot like Arkham, but, you know. I think it's fun. It's more fun in some of the other locations. Look, it's a new enemy type for us to use those Shocker upgrade gauntlet web shooters we got. We can hold circle to charge a seismic blast and shoot it at enemies, which stuns them. And this big enemy type seems to only be hurt by this particular pattern, where we stun him with the seismic blast and then punch him a few times. Definitely my least favorite enemy type. Every other enemy type can be taken down really quickly, but not these guys, it seems. You have to do this pattern a few times of stunning them and then punching them. The seismic blast is also really good against normal enemies, but we'll see that later.
Spider-Man! I like. Impressive. But you are still raw. Inexperienced.
I was experienced enough to beat your friends.
I am Russian, but I am no friend to those pigs. My name is Sergei Kravenov. Men call me Kraven the Hunter.
So you left me that note. Huh. Judging from the web, you're one of those crazy reality show guys who runs around naked in the woods eating bugs. How can you help me?
I can make you a true hunter. Not just a boy pretending to be a man. Should you wish to accept, you may find me here. Until we meet again.
Parker, why didn't you get me pictures from the Fisk Osborn press conference?
Oh, sorry, Mr. Jameson, but I've got school. You know, life outside the job.
In my day, your job was your life. A press pass is wasted on you.
Actually, I just got an idea for using my press pass. I've got to admit, it would be nice not to feel like I'm fighting this battle on my own. But is Kraven someone I can trust? Kraven obviously doesn't know who I really am, or he would have come to my house. I don't know. I've always worked best alone. But then again, I've never tried it any other way. If Kraven can teach me his hunting techniques, I won't have to rely on police broadcasts to find bad guys. It's not like I tell Kraven my real name. And I'll be on guard for any kind of double cross. I've never had formal training. Okay? Don't be nervous. You need information on Kraven, and you've got a press pass to get it with. Easy peasy. Never mind that if he finds out you're a photographer and not a reporter, he'll have you stuffed and mounted.
Some of the things Spidey says in this game are questionable, like him immediately assuming Kraven is a gangster because he has a Russian accent and dresses funny. I guess he did show up to the scene of the crime, but he could have easily just been another superhero, you know? Like, superheroes dress funny. Spidey's not one to talk, I think, in that circumstance. His spider sense certainly didn't go off. I think he's got some examining of his personal biases to do. That's all I'm saying. That's all I'm suggesting here.
Mr. Kravinoff? It's me, Peter Parker, from the Daily Bugle. We spoke on the phone. The door was open. Mr. Kravinoff?
Good evening. Oh, I apologize for startling you. I am Craven. Please forgive my theatrics. I merely wish to demonstrate my skills.
The videos online do that pretty well. I saw you take down that Siberian tiger with your bare hands, without hurting it.
Tigers are endangered. I simply relocated the beast for its own safety, as well as that of the local villagers. True hunters wish to conserve the natural world. It is where we find peace.
You're a long way from the natural world.
I craved a new challenge. I came here to hunt the monsters Oscorp created. The cross-species. The deadliest combination of animal and human. I ended their threat. But I grew fond of your city. And your city grew fond of me. And I decided to stay.
Except now you're hunting normal people.
No. Only criminals. Only those who prey on their fellow man have anything to fear from me.
This new task force is sending a pretty strong message. No vigilantes.
I do not trust them. They are paid for by Fisk. I am sure you've heard the rumors of his illegal activities.
Sure, everyone has. But no one can prove it. And the police seem okay with him.
Because he has paid those who are corrupt. The rest are desperate to avoid looking incompetent. Well, the public is desperate for an end to the crime wave. I have only one agenda. To get results.
Based on my experience, research, the police aren't big fans of vigilantes.
The police had their chance to stop the crime wave. They failed miserably.
I don't think they like being reminded of that.
I do not wish to insult them. But it would be a far greater crime to have the power to help, but refuse to act. Would you not agree?
Yeah. As a matter of fact, I would. Is man really the most dangerous game?
In their own way, yes. But men are merely highly evolved animals. The current crime wave provides fascinating opportunities to study them. The patterns of the various factions.
And what are you finding out?
That criminals are not unlike beasts. They have hunting grounds, specific behaviors. Many travel in packs, but there are differences.
Such as?
Animals prey on others for survival. Only human beings are willfully cruel.
So you're saying you feel a responsibility to use your power to help?
Yes. To have such power and not use it is to be unworthy of it.
Well, thanks. I think our readers will find this very interesting.
Good, good. I must take this call, but please, look around. Take pictures of anything you wish. Yes? No, I said tranquilizer darts. No, I have no interest in automatic weapons. They require no skill. I am an artist!
So now we just kind of wander around Craven's loft and we can take pictures of a few things. We get to pick which things we want to take pictures of, but it's not like it matters which we choose. It's just a personal preference thing. There's also collectibles lying around.
It's my lucky day.
Like that, which upgrades us. It's experience upgrades. Don't worry about it. That's happening in the background. You don't need to know how the experience system works.
Now that's a keeper.
All you need to know is that I grinded to get pretty much every upgrade possible. I'm going to try and keep chatter about too much of the plot's events to a minimum because I don't want to spoil things or hint at where something might be going. I will say that I really like how some of the villains in this are written. Especially the Kingpin. I feel like this game writes Kingpin the best out of every Spider-Man media, aside from maybe the comics or the 90s animated series. I know Kingpin is in other things, like Daredevil, for example. Only seen him in Spidey stuff, though. A lot of people complained about the Peter Parker segments saying they're dull and whatnot, but they give kind of important information about what's going on in the story, and they're over with quickly, so they didn't personally bother me. Like, I was invested in what was happening enough that I wanted to see these sections.
Pardon the interruption. Would you care to see my latest trophies? Cross species. Beautiful. Are they not?
I thought Spider-Man captured them.
An inadequate solution. They escaped.
So you killed them?
To save the lives of their victims, yes. But also in self-defense. They were deadly opponents.
I know. I mean, I can imagine. When do you consider it okay to kill?
When there is no other choice. I do not take life lightly. But when it is necessary, I do not hesitate. If my failure to act cost the life of an innocent person, I could not live with myself.
I know what you mean. They all had superhuman powers. How'd you beat them?
I have trained myself to the peak of human ability, and learned many natural means of enhancement. Not drugs, like the scum who pollute the streets, but the secrets of native cultures. Herbs, potions, mysteries forgotten by so-called civilized man.
Hunting criminals. Some people might wonder if you're the Carnage Killer.
He is no hunter, but a brute, a savage. His very existence is offensive to men like myself.
So even though he's hunting criminals, you'd like to take him down?
Of course. He dishonors what I do. Without honor, Peter, the hunt means nothing.
Last question. Is there anything you haven't accomplished yet?
Yes. I would like to leave a legacy when I am gone. Pass my training to a protege. My only family is a brother who... well, he chose a different path. I never had a son, but... perhaps... forgive me. I am becoming melancholy as I get older. So, do you have what you need, Mr. Parker?
Yeah, I think I do.
Something I really like about that scene is how he was pacing for a moment while thinking about the right way to ask the question, when do you consider it okay to kill? Like, that's a tough question to ask in this circumstance, and I think in most circumstances, but especially this one. So I like that he was pacing for a moment before he found the appropriate way to ask that question.
Whitney!
Whitney? Should I be jealous?
Who is this?
That's no way to talk to a lady. Or even me.
Felicia? This is the number I gave Whitney Chang. How'd you get it?
The name's Black Cat, as in cat burglar. As in I get my hands on things I'm not supposed to. How about you, Spider? Do you ever get your hands on things you're not supposed to?
I heard you were back in jail. Listen, if you're calling to tease me about breaking out...
I'm insulted. I can think of a lot more fun things to tease you about.
If you're smart, you'll get out of town before I find the time to chase you.
Funny, that's what I was going to say to you. Things are getting dangerous around here, Spider. Why don't we chase each other out of town,
I'm too busy to fool around with you. I mean, play games with you. Bye, Felicia.
This story goes in a direction with Felicia's character that, now that I think about it, seems distressingly common in the video games. I'm thinking of at least 2 other video games where this thing happens. I'm not going to reveal what the thing is yet. I'll talk about it later. But I'm thinking of at least 2 other video games where she tries the same sort of deal. And, I'm not sure if that's just something that was taken from the comics or whatnot. I don't know a lot about Black Cat. Didn't really interest me all that much as a character.
Maybe Jonah Jameson and I could be friends if we just... Time to find out if Kraven can really teach me how to track these punks.
I knew you would come.
Yeah, well, don't get any ideas about me being your sidekick. But I'm on the trail of the Carnage Killer, and tracking's a little out of my wheelhouse.
Ah, yes, the killer. I thought he might be you. But I have watched you, and I see that you are no madman.
You spied on me?
Only briefly. There is much a hunter can learn from observation. I see the way you carry yourself like a lost child, that you lack someone to guide you, to help you become a man. I have no son of my own. I do not want my legacy to die with me. I can make you the ultimate hunter. Let us work together to find this Carnage Killer and suppress the crime wave. Let us do together what we could not do alone.
I'm still gonna operate on my own.
Of course, as will I. But we will be there for each other when it is needed.
I sent you an address. There is a back alley from which the Russians move stolen Oscorp equipment to a safe house. Use the little fish to catch the big ones.
Yeah, I've heard that before.
It is tempting to catch the easiest prey, but in our case, the most obvious criminals are the most inconsequential. Wait. Follow them. See where they go.
I get that, but I'm not gonna let anyone get hurt. If I see these guys threatening someone's life, they're going down.
Illegal money is usually paid in cash. If you follow low-level criminals as they drop off their earnings, they will lead you to the next rung of the ladder. You are doing well. Now listen. Higher-level criminals prefer to keep a low profile. But just as animals must visit a watering hole, they must collect their money and pay those above them.
I'll give them this. The way these guys hustle all over the city, they're getting one heck of a cardio workout.
Often the higher-level criminals will lead you to legitimate businesses that serve as a front to launder the illegal income. It is here you will find their bosses who pretend respectability.
I have to admit, Kraven, all this is leading me to the big fish I never used to find before. Thanks.
Like a pride of lions, when the leaders fear an outside predator, they will call their soldiers together for
protection.
And every crook in New York is afraid of the Carnage Killer. When I find where they're holed up, it'll be like one-stop shopping.
You are learning, but stealth is crucial. Even you cannot fight all of them at once. Stop wasting time and prepare the package!
Gotta get a photo of that crate of Oscorp tech, so I can trace it.
This crate is heavier than your mother! If you drop that, I'm not taking the blame for you! Quick, get the crate loaded before someone sees us!
Just what I needed.
That Oscorp tech will go to their superiors. Do not lose sight of it.
I'll stick to it like, well, me. Kraven's tips are paying off. I get the feeling there are a lot of bad guys in there. I better keep a low profile.
I think you could say that the photography in this game is a little undercooked. It's a little undercooked. There's not too many legitimate reasons to use it outside of collectibles, and when they try and force it into the story, it doesn't always make sense. There are a few times where Spidey takes pictures of things that are important to the story, but those usually happen in cutscenes. Sometimes they don't, though. Anyway, enough of that. We're infiltrating the Russians' secret sewer base, where they store all their illegal Oscorp technology.
I'm guessing this isn't a restaurant guide. The Carnage Killer. These must be all the places where he killed these guys' friends. A lot more than the police know about. I know what Kraven would say. A clearer picture of the Predator's hunting grounds. So this is where all the cool gangsters hang out.
So basically all this area means is that stealth is no longer optional, which is fine by me, because stealth is my preferred way to play the game. And if we trip any mines, which are those giant orbs floating in the sky, then they will explode, and it will alert everyone to our presence, so let's try not to explode any mines. Being able to see enemy vision cones is great, and it makes the stealth segments so much more fun. I didn't mean to fall down here, but there's a collectible down here anyway. Having Spidey sense active does make things harder to see. I distinctly remember one of my close friends complaining it makes things so hard to see. But a cool feature is that the longer you have Spidey sense on, the easier it becomes to see. That guy saw us, but then he was unconscious a couple seconds after that because of the seismic blast. That's what the seismic blast does to normal enemies, is it knocks them right the fuck unconscious. This wasn't a great start to the stealth segment, really wasn't, but that's okay. We would have been way more fucked if we didn't have the seismic blast to knock that guy unconscious who was staring directly at us. The enemy AI behavior changes when they're suspicious that you're around, and you have to wait a bit before they go back to their normal patrol. And Yep, he's done. Going right back to his normal routine like nothing ever happened. You never saw Spider-Man 2099 hopping around in here. That's crazy talk. If our awareness level reaches maximum, then we can't complete the objective. I like that this guy was placed in just the perfect way to drop in behind him, or you can rappel down. Either of those is fine by me. If you hit someone with a seismic blast while they don't yet see you, it still counts as stealth. Your awareness level doesn't go up, because they didn't see you, and then they were unconscious. So obviously your awareness level cannot go up from that, given they were immediately knocked out, as you're about to see. Yep, see? That's still stealth.
Deliberately moving really slowly? Man, what I could do with equipment like this. Harry won't mind if I borrow this for a little while.
You'll be dead before you see me move.
Better go see what that was. They say bad guys don't think of themselves as bad guys, but come on. She always dodges when she's got both feet on the ground. Okay, lady, how much coffee did you drink? I'm gonna guess this was not a meeting of the Wilson Fisk fan club. Kraven, I'm sending you pictures. The first one looks like a map of places the Carnage Killer struck.
Ah, yes. Good. Good. The more we can learn of his habits, the better.
Next up is a flyer for an anti-crime fundraiser hosted by Wilson Fisk. I think they're gonna try and kill him there. Even if Fisk is crooked, I can't let them do that. Especially with all those innocent people around.
The fundraiser is tonight. They will have put their plan into action already. You must go to the location and stop them.
Just one problem. I don't have an invitation, and I'm guessing you don't either.
Then we must improvise. I am too well known to bypass security. But under your mask, Spider-Man, nobody knows who you are.
Here's a hint. I'm not rich enough to go to this.